guy that just walked out here for a minute. You have the unique situation where you've been around it for a long time. How special can he be here, do you think? And how much of a cornerstone of what you guys are doing here can he be?
I mean, I think he's already special, and I think he's already a cornerstone. And just keep it simple like that. I mean, you guys all know he's a great player, what kind of plays he can make, and you know how much of a game changer he is, especially when he has the ball in his hands. So, yeah.
How much, when you weren't here, did you guys keep in touch? Talk about even what you were going through, your struggles, his struggles, stuff like that?
Not too much. Not really too much. Of course, he had his stuff going on here, and I had some stuff going on where I was at, but not really too much. Maybe every now and then, but honestly, not much at all. But like I said, when I got here, it's like our relationship didn't skip a beat. So. Yeah.
What is it to you to lift him and him lift you for this franchise, which hasn't won in a lot of years?
It definitely means a lot. I think it'd be very cool, just because of the fact we've known each other so long, and we've had a great friendship for so long. So it'd be cool for sure.
He was just talking about the first time he met you in the car ride with his dad. His dad was trying to talk to you. Do you remember that?
I don't think I remember it too much. I say they had me going with a good amount of recruits, so I don't remember Garrett's in that interaction or that happening too much.
What is your first kind of memory?
I would say I don't know if he was there actually. Probably our second week there. I think he was there. Just all of us playing basketball right by the dorms and this little gym, and then of course spring practice. He's just mossing and dunking on everybody. So I think those are kind of my first memories of Garrett.
What do you feel like you need to get out of this week, Justin's kind of the last week of camp practices?
Yeah, just continue to get better. And that's it. Keep growing.
Justin, you've obviously been in a handful of systems here. What does it be like about Tanner's system and him in particular?
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that we do. Some concepts that I've never ran before, and I think they're really efficient. And I think they're different. So I like the concepts that we have. I like what Tanner's trying to do and implement with the guys on offense and kind of in our playbook. So like I said, he's a great offensive-minded coach, and just the stuff that we can get done. I think the sky's the limit. So yeah.
Justin, there's obviously been a lack of stretching the field from you guys on offense. How do you not let that get to you? Where you want to attack, you want to go to the second and third level, but you don't also want to force the issue.
I mean, yeah, we're fine with taking 8-yard completions every play, if I'm being honest with you. Of course, you want explosive, but like I said, Saturday, we're not going to, force the ball downfield. If they want to, get depth on the second level, we're fine with taking the 8-10-yard completion and, taking time off the clock and just driving down the field and having, 10, 15-play drives. That gets the defense tired, and, it might not be as exciting on the offensive, side of the ball for the fans, but like I said, it's efficient ball. It's also getting the defense tired and, just driving down the field like that. So. Yeah.
When does your focus shift, or maybe it has already, from just kind of the grind of camp and what you guys are focused on offensively versus starting to really look at the Steelers, starting to look at their defense and starting to think the game plan?
Me personally, probably later this week, after this last week of practice. So, yeah.
What have you made of how the two young guys, Quentin Skinner and Arian Smith, have kind of progressed in camp? They've seemed to making some plays in these games.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of tell early that those guys were going to be special. I think I brought up Arian a few weeks ago, and how his speed really helps stretch the defense vertically, and how much of a deep threat he can be. And then I think Q's done a great job, of course, making plays. Of course, he's a big body. He's a smooth route runner, solid hands, and like I said, he can go up and get it. So those guys have definitely made big plays for us, and I'm excited to see what they do this week.
Been pretty adamant that you're going to be the focal point of the passing attack. They want the ball in your hands. How freeing has that been that they can to design ways to get you the ball that amplify your strengths and really work the things around you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I always, throughout my first 3 years, I want to see how this this plays out come a couple weeks from now, right? And we've done a good job getting a lot of different looks and moving around a lot whenever we're in camp throughout OTAs, but I wouldn't say I had felt that way previously. So now just how it translates to game day and making sure that stuff translates. And if they take it away, we got options, right? And that's the beautiful thing too, with like what he asked. We have a lot of things we can do. I train that way. I train like I'm, going to be the focal point of an offense. But if that's not the plan this week, that's not the plan, right? And yeah, that's part of my growth as a player. Just being ready for that, but also knowing if they take it away, they're going to take it away.
Garrett, since you full radio mode over. Since you got the contract and all that kind of stuff, I mean, you've always been a guy that I think wants to lead a little bit. But how has it been different for you? Has your mindset changed at all to try to become more of a leader? What has that meant to you?
Yeah.
How different is the vibe for you?
Yeah, it's definitely a different vibe. Just knowing where you're going to be, knowing that these new guys coming in. Let's build this relationship. Let's teach guys how we do things. Let's show them. Maybe not teach them. Everyone knows they're pros for a reason, but showing them how we do things here with this new staff. And for me, it's never been as much as of the vocal thing. With that said, every now and then there's a time come up and you got to say something, right? But it's always been out at practice. How do you go about your business? How do you go about your practice prep? How do you go about your week leading up to a game? So those are the things that even more I got to be knowing that people are watching, right? Knowing that people are watching and just giving them great things that they can steal from my routine, steal from my training, from my practice habits, stuff like that, just because I know that people believe me around here and whatever, the stuff I've been doing, they deem it to work, right? So let's bring some people with you, and that's the mindset.
Has that whole thing brought a little bit of more of an ownership for you think, to this? Not that you didn't take ownership for your own play, but because you're a cornerstone here now, and they've told you that the way they've paid you, so to speak.
Yeah.
Do you feel more ownership here, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Just from talking to the staff and getting to know their philosophy and what they want to see out of me as far as being exactly bought in. Like you said, a little more ownership and it being a little bit more personal. This is my future, this is my home right here. So we got to get this thing rolling, not just because of me, but just because that's what all of us come here to do, right? We come here to leave a legacy, man, and mine's going to be here. And with that, I want it to be as great as it can be. So there's certain ways you got to act if you want that, you really mean that.
Just going back, what is your first memory of Justin, and what stands out from that first meeting or encounter with him?
Yeah, my first memory with Justin, actually the first day, was we both had the same first day at Ohio State. So we had like a little opening lunch. He had came through the portal. I had graduated early from high school. And Justin was just up there. My dad and mom were with me, and we were staying in similar dorms. So Justin rode over with us to dinner. And Justin a little more soft-spoken. My dad, he can talk now. So we're in the car, and my dad's talking with Justin, trying to, peel back the layers a little bit. And that's my initial memory with Justin, man. He's more of a quiet guy. My dad brought it out all of a sudden, had him laughing in the back. And from that point on, I feel like second day of practice, we was snapping. Like, he gave me a chance. I got in. I was a lucky freshman. I got to get a rep with some of the older guys, and he kind of threw it up. And I just went and got it. And from that point on, it felt like he had my back. He was going to push me along and make sure I was getting in the rotation. So I'm thankful for our relationship that we had in college. I'm certain that it's why I'm at where I'm at now, because playing with guys like Justin and being able to showcase my ability because of that. So those are my initial memories with him. But I'm excited to go make some new ones for sure.
Yeah, we talked to Tanner a few weeks ago, and he was describing how you can kind of add stuff to routes sometimes. He said you add a little sauce to the routes. How do you balance? We've seen what you can do in terms of that, and your creativity, route running versus run the route as it's drawn, in the playbook. How do you kind of balance those two things?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely an aspect of like we're not robots. I was brought here to get open, right? And yeah, there's definitely some layer or some parts that I've developed these last 3 years that I maybe have to, tone down a little bit in this offense, just because of how detailed it is, how much there is in it, and because of the way Tanner coaches it. So, yeah, it's just something I always got to be conscious of, not losing who I am, because, that's who I am. But yeah, just knowing where the quarterback expects me to be, and also knowing that next day we got to watch film, and the ones where you do it right. If it's not a touchdown, those are the ones that are a little easier to watch that next day. So yeah.
We talk a lot about all the changes and different vibes and everything like that. What gives you the confidence that this year is going to be different as a team than the last several?
Just feel, man. It's feel and being a faith-based guy, a hope guy, someone that believes in if you put in the work down the road, the results are coming. You're going to get it on the back end, and for 3 or 4 years here, the guys that have been around for that time frame, we've believed that we are worthy, right? And it's a terrible feeling, because you go out there and you feel like you're worthy, but all of a sudden your season's over and whenever, right? So with that, you can't let that kill your faith. You're doing things, you can obviously improve, but you're doing things the right way. Don't lose the process because of maybe the results not the way you want it to be. And being a faith-based guy, I believe that everything that's happened this past 3 years has been for a reason, right? And it's going to make this ascension and this whatever it is, these upcoming seasons that much better because of what we've been through here. So just keeping that faith and not changing the way you go about things, not changing the way you go about your work. Obviously you feel like you didn't get off press that well this year. All right, let's add a workout in, but knowing that at the basis of it, your mindset's right. The intent is there, and trusting that it just hasn't been your time yet. And it's coming.
Garrett, you made a couple comments earlier about like when I asked you about how they're going to use you, it seems like you're being moved on. You're like, yeah, true, we have to show it. Yeah, I got to show it in game. Yeah, it's got to happen in the game. The last couple of years, there's been a lot of talk about this team. A lot of talk about not just materialized on the field. Have you taken that approach more so this year than ever before? That like that talk is cheap. Let's just do it. It's time to just go and show it.
100%, man. Yeah, 100%. I even I love y'all, but I struggle coming up here and talking just because I know sometimes that it's how it can be construed or may be taken after it's done, right? The Jets are going to do this year. What am I supposed to say? Stuff like that. And the reality of it is, man, we're confident athletes. We all are super confident in our ability. We think every time we go out there, we're going to win, right? Sometimes you get smacked in the face. And, for me, it's all about putting in the work. It's just put in the work and let's go out there. I don't want to be this guy that starts getting a rep of every year. It's this and that out of him, and maybe it's not always me doing the talking. In that case, it's the fantasy people or that. But just not buying into it, right? And knowing that there's work to be done because that stuff doesn't mean shit or doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it's been I feel like we've won the off season the last 3-4 years. I don't like that. I don't really like that. So for me, it's been staying off the radar, and let's put our head down and go do it when it matters, right? So that we don't got to be having these conversations, and we can talk about the other stuff in the future here because we're winning games, we're handling our business, and that's the goal. And I feel like we're on the path. It's just let's go do it.
What are you trying to get out of this last preseason game against the Eagles?
I'd say just understanding who we are. I think that's the biggest thing in going out there and being able to play against these guys because, they're Super Bowl champions last year, and just seeing what we can do against somebody like that.
The second series the other night against the Giants, when you guys ran 10, 11 times, is that sort of the identity of this team? I
think the identity of this team is, just physicality. No matter what play it is, run, pass, or whatever. I think Coach does a good job at, telling us that that's what he wants. He wants it to be whatever it is to be physical. And if that means we got to run the ball 12 times, 15 times in a row, that's what it is. So I'm ready for it.
When you hear that play call coming into your helmet, though, or not your helmet, when you hear going to Justin calling the play, when you hear run, does it amp you up?
Let's go. Yeah, I love it. Like I said, I just want to be as physical as I can, and just dominate. It don't really matter to me what the play is, but when I do hear a run call, I do get a little bit excited.
How good does it feel just to personally to get back out there and game action?
Oh, it was huge. That was like my third day back in pads that game, and it was definitely a little rusty, but it was huge to be back out there with the guys and being able to play next to Tip and Olu, and just going out there and getting it rolling.
What have you thought of Membu, especially this last week? They have a good defensive line, the way he handled everything, some good moments and some bad ones too.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing I didn't expect. He's one of those guys that he's smart. He's super smart, and he's super physical. So I feel like as a left tackle, that's what you need. You know what I'm saying? And he's one of those guys that you don't really got to say much to him. He's just gonna go out there and be like, hey, let's go. And that's kind of how I am too. So I feel like us playing next to each other is huge. It's cool. Membu, my bad. I mean, it's the same thing for him. He's the same kind of guy. He's super quiet, don't really say much, but he'll go out there and handle whatever you throw at him. He go against a guy like number 9 every day in practice. So for a game, it should be a little easier. So.
He's always been a good player, but do you think he's taking his game to the next level?
Oh, 100%. AVT's a dog, man. He's one of those guys that a couple of years from now, people are gonna be like, "Hey, did you watch that film on AVT?" You know what I'm saying? Like he's real technically sound, and I watch his film. You know what I'm saying? Just to get my game better. He's one of those guys that is a leader in this room, and he's going to continue to be a great leader for sure.
What are the things that you have taken out of Tanner's offensive system, and what do you make of him as an OC? You've been in a couple systems before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a super smart. I say that about everybody, I guess, but he's super smart and he's knowledgeable about the game. he knows a lot about the game, and he's going to get his best players in the best positions to win. And he's going to run that ball, and like I said, I'm excited about it. I love running the ball, and that's all I can really take from it right now.
John, the last couple of years, I know you were only here last year, but the expectation with Aaron and everything else, Super Bowl, you had all the veterans on the tackle spots and stuff like that. What do you feel about this year's team? What are the expectations when you come into this?
The expectation is obviously to win. The biggest thing is just sticking together, like through thick and thin, no matter what it is, and just ignore the outside noise, and just being the most physical team, try to be the most dominant team that we can be, and the rest will take care of itself.
How valuable will be in the long run for last week be in terms of you guys going against that front, joint practices, and getting a couple drives?
Oh, I think it's huge. All camp we've been going against a different front. They run a different. The Giants run a different front than we've been accustomed to for the first couple of weeks of camp. So just getting that experience, that exposure to that, it'll definitely help us out throughout the season for sure.
What's the process been like, John? Just getting used to Justin, like when he's going to take off running.
Yeah.
Behind that, like how long to hold the blocks and
right.
What's that process
It's
like?
cool. I mean, it's just ball at the end of the day. Like I said previously one time, I play with Lamar, so it's kind of not too different for me. But at the end of the day, it's just football. He'll find an open hole if he got to get loose and run. It's just at the end of the day, it's just us 5 doing our job, protecting, and then if he got to get loose, he'll get loose.